working? Is it working? It's working. Возрасты покорный, ее порывы благотворны, юноши в рассвете лет едва увидевшему свет, и закаленному судьбой бойцу с седою головой. Я скрывать не стану, безумно я люблю Татьяну. Тоскливо жизнь моя текла, она явилась из огла, как солнце луч среди ненастья. Мне жизнь и молодость, да молодость и счастье. Good evening. I don't know if you can hear what is going on in the background over there, but is a neighbor making a terrible noise. Just as soon as I started to sing the classical music this evening and really belt it out with the Russian baritone, this horrible neighbor next door ruined it by putting on the popular music. They've got no culture. That's the problem with these people. Probably IQ well below average, something like 140 or something like that. And they don't understand the real culture to be able to sing Tchaikovsky at many decibels in a little flat. They don't know, they don't appreciate the beauty of it. And so I hear to the wall this terrible thing. They've started to play popular music. Listen to it. It's a disgrace. I want to tell you something tonight. In the world there are many problems, many difficulties. Some people, they have a difficulty, they got no money. Yeah, they're trying to live their lives with no money. Okay, they got no money and they can't live their life the way they want to live it because they can't buy anything. And then there's more people, they got plenty of money, but they got cancer or some other horrible disease, and no matter what they give to the money, first they're going to the doctor and they're saying, here's a lot of money, please give me your most strong placebo. And the doctors say, for this money I will give you the best placebo money can buy. It will not just be palliative placebo, it will be a radical placebo. We will take you first to chemotherapy, chemosabe, and then we will go to the radiotherapy. This is where you're getting the therapy with the headphones on, listening to Freddie Mercury. Radio, it make you gaga. And so basically then they say nothing really happened, your tumors are the same tumors like when you came in through the door, they didn't shrink, they didn't change color, they didn't start to make a different sort of appearance at all. And you may have lots of money, well, rather a lot less now than when you walk in the clinic, but basically you've had it. So that's another set of problems you can have. You can get a problem like that in your life. But let me tell you one thing. Whatever problem you got, you haven't got the worst problem that ever existed in the world. This is the first thing. And other people probably got just as big problems as what you got. They just don't tell you. They don't tell you about it. people are not explaining to one another enough about their problems. So this is why you have to find the people who are all the time moaning and whining and whinging, and then you will know finally that you didn't have such big problems after all. But if you're going to the people with a stiff upper lip like this, stiff upper lip, this is what the English do. They have this stiff upper lip. They're walking around like this all the time, and they don't tell each other about their problems. They're kind of stoicistic, Spartanistic, or whatever it's called. Each one of them inside of their head think they got divorce problems, but they're the big hero that they don't tell about it. It would be much more humbling for them if they all were to whine and whinge and go on like everybody else does, and not try to be such a stoicistics. That's my rant for this evening. Everybody like to have a rant occasionally, and I suppose that's taken a bit of time away from the business in hand. But not to worry, we will not call this a lesson. We will get back to the lessons the next time, and this in the meantime will be a kind of ranting session. I want to tell you another thing. There's a big problems in the... Can you hear this horrible noise? They are so making noises, neighbors. I think they got really noisy neighbors. I have to tell them to shut up. Shut up, noisy neighbor. Ugh. It's better. Okay, so we got a lot of problems with the environment in this world, and one of the things that happen in the environment is people are using up too much resources. They are, for example, using up fuel in their motor vehicles. They are using up food, and they are needing to have a lot of natural forests cut down to make food for them. They're using up things to make their houses and everything like that. And the problem is, because of that, we really filled up the world. And now there is too many people in the world. There's more than 6 million. So, basically, if you want to make the world a nicer place, you should really make the human race a little bit smaller. Now, Malthus was saying about that a long time ago. He said if the human race is getting too much population pressure, people gonna die. Either we have the war, and we might have a war now, yeah? But what do you think you're going to do? Every time there's a war, the politicians don't get any popular air because the people are out there making their protestments and their protestations. They're waving their placards around. Some of them are even burning effigies of the politicians, and then afterwards they don't want to vote for them anymore in the elections. They say, you made a war, we don't like the war, you are a problem maker. Yeah? Some like the war at the beginning, but then they get a bit fed up if they have to get enlisted in the army, and suddenly they discover that they are caked in mud with bullets coming at them. They don't like it so much then. They like it before, or when they think is somebody else going to go. Not them, not their children. But when they actually have to go themselves, then they don't like it so much. They think, oh, maybe I was wrong in being in favor of the war. So there's a better way than wars, better ways than diseases, better ways than giving everybody cancer and then not being able to cure it because we're so pathetic in science, we can't sort it out. It's never going to be sorted out. What can we do? Well, there is a simple solution. If you look at the race of doggies, you can see some doggies are big and some doggies are little. Some people are big, like a Maasai Mara, and other people are little, like a piggies. We have to make a program of genetic selection. To find them, at first we need to map the human genome and find out what gene it is that made people become big, like 2 meters tall. It's useless. You don't get any cleverer by being 2 meters tall. You don't get any more fun. What's the point in being 2 meters tall? It's stupid. So, what you have to do, we have to look at the genome. That neighbor is making the same song 3 times. I think she's got some problem in the head. She listen to the same song 3 times. I can't believe it. Anyway, you have to make the people into little people. Why? Because the little people is another way of making the human race smaller. You could get, for example, in a normal motor car, instead of going to work with only 3 or 4 people in the car, if you had really little people, I'm talking little, like little people like this, yeah, like this, you could probably get 10 or 11 of them just into one car seat, maybe 30 or 40 going to work in the same car. The same piece of food, the same meal in the restaurant, if people were all little people, it would go around so many more people. You would save a lot on food if everybody was little, like kind of maximum 40-50 centimeters tall. This is one of the reasons, this is one of the things that I like about the Chinese people. One thing, they didn't make their population get out of hand. They didn't do what people did in the Soviet Union. In the Soviet Union, everybody tried to make women have a lot of children and give them the medals if they did it, call them heroine mother of the Soviet Union. This was a big mistake. Of course, didn't do anything because Russia still has very few people for a big country. But China, which had a very big population, said, you're only going to have one child, and if it's a girl, then you can get another child. Sorry about that, but I didn't think of it. Yeah. Anyway, what basically happened is their population didn't go up. It stayed the same. They aren't the ones who causing this problem, okay? And the other thing about China is they showed the way because they started to make their people getting smaller and smaller and smaller. When Marco Polo went to China, he didn't say nothing about Chinese people being little. He didn't make any mentions about the little people over there at all. But today, if you're looking at Chinese people, you will notice that they're very small, okay? And this is very good indeed, because it means they are people who are not selfish, getting to be huge, great big people. They are small, they don't eat that much, they don't have very big requirements. They are thinking in collective way. They're trying to be a big team. That is a country which is one great big team. It's very admirable. Really, you have to take your hat off to the Chinese people. They made themselves, they control their population and they even control their body size. And this is what everybody should be making an example from them, so that people become more in the way that the Chinese people are. Then a lot of the problems of the human race will be sorted out. We won't need placebos anymore. We can start to concentrate on proper medicine and actually finding the answers to some of the difficulties that we have. And so, basically, we have a lot to do ahead of time for us. Yeah? We have a human race standing on the doorstep of huge challenges. Yeah? We have the problem now. Before, China was the biggest country in the world. Okay, and nobody thought India was such a big country. Do you know that India nearly has as many people now as China has? Sorry, what is it? What? Oh, you want to put the news on? Of course, put the news on. You'll find out what the Islamics have been doing today. It will be very interesting. You put the news on. Let's see if there's anything. What they did anything. Probably it's those Georgians in the first headline. Those Georgians, they very bad people. Look what they done to Russia now. Those Georgians, it's a rainy night in Georgia. I'm telling you, very rainy night. You Georgians, you just watch it. Because if it's a rainy night in Georgia, it might be raining all over the world. So just be careful what you're doing to Russia, okay? That's all from me. I didn't do any Russian letters today, but I do them all next time, okay? I'm doing a revision period next time, and then in lesson 6 I will do 5 letters more, alright? So you got lots to look forward to, but tonight I just had a few things I need to get off my chest, and it's all because of that neighbor, you know? I can't do Russian letters when there's stupid music playing. This is the 4th time. She's playing that song the 4th time now. She's cracked in the head, I'm telling you. Really cracked.